Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must say that I have never been bestowed upon with so many roses in one evening by so many gentlemen. So at the onset, let me give my grateful thanks to everybody who was gracious enough to welcome me on stage. I must say here that instead of giving a keynote speech, I don't think the evening entails that. This is an evening of celebration. I'm extremely grateful to the entire Sunday Standard Group that has given me an opportunity to share the platform with such brilliant women. It is, I think, quite a legacy that stood on this stage this evening, where Ritu Kumar was describing her 40-year-old journey, and here I am, a minister at 40, which says so much about how much women have traveled in the history of our country. The fact that Laila Tayyab ji, Ritu Kumar, they've all been torchbearers of, and Vandana Luthra, they've all done things when they were not fashionable enough to do. I remember Miss Luthra's own personal journey, from what I've heard, began with a loan of 20,000 rupees. And with people who smugly told her that kya beauty parlor chalana hai. I'm sure if they look at her balance sheet today, they would quake, not the earthquake that you speak of in Parliament, but quake to know that she has reached the 1,000 crore mark. But I think what is extremely important here to underline is what Anvita began with. The fact that we all have our own journeys, some predetermined by many others, and some which we make out of choice. But what enriches us in that journey is what we have seen, what we have learnt, what we have read, and who we have met. So that is a journey that I undertook myself. At 16, told my father, who said कि 17-18 साल में आपकी शादी तय हो जाएगी. I said, जिंदगी भर मैं आपकी बेटी बन के जी हूँ, आगे चल के किसी की पत्नी बनकर जिंदा रहूँगी. कुछ साल मैं खुद जीना चाहती हूँ, देखना चाहती हूँ मुझ में कितनी हिम्मत है. But I think what Usha said today is extremely important. I myself belong to a lower middle class family. But what gives women strength possibly is the stories that they read. So if there is any takeaway today for me as a woman, after hearing all these stories of achievers this evening, it is to gift a girl a story, a book. You never know what changes to that life you might bring. So everybody is present here this evening. My request to you is that reach out to a girl and just hand over a book. It might just change her life forever. And my heartiest congratulations to all the winners this evening. I'm sure that this is just ek padav, aapki puri journey ka, which will be filled with more successes as time comes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Smriti ji. And Mr. Chawla, I hand over the mic to you.
पहले वो मेरे को गुस्सा से देख रही हैं कि मैं क्या पूछने वाला हूँ. Smriti ji, you're most welcome here because we are grateful to you for coming here and giving awards to all the women. We thought of you because you are also some kind of a symbol of success in a men's world.
How patriarchal of you to say some kind of symbol.
I was expecting this kind of remark from you because who else can retort like this?
Yeah, I was extremely, I must here admit that the minute Preetha Reddy got off stage and he said, oh, she's as good as a son.
No, you're misquoting now. I thought only journalists...
I was hunting for the boxing glove that I've hidden in my car. Ladies?
Yes. I thought only journalists were misquoted. Now the ministers are misquoting a journalist.
Oh, no.
I'm
not here in the capacity as a minister. I'm here as a woman, sir. And I speak for other women.
I repeat, Dr.
who
Reddy
had arched eyebrows when you made that comment.
I said Dr. Reddy had only 3 sons and no daughters.
Do not even go there, Mr. Chawla. Do not even end this now. Anvita, knowing very well the trap you're walking into is signaling. Stop it now.
I know you want to divert from what I am going to ask you. But one thing I must ask you, which is in Hindi. आप सास से सुशासक, कि मोदी जी का नारा है सुशासन. तो सास थी आप जो हमेशा रोती रहती थी टीवी पे. मैंने जिस बार भी देखा आपको, बहुत कम देखा. सुशासक बन गई आप. तो आपको फर्क क्या लगा?
ऐसा होता है प्रभु जी कि जब पहली गेंद में ही गुगली कर दो ना तो अक्सर ऐसे क्वेश्चंस डगमगा जाते हैं,
उसके बाद दूसरा हो जाता है।
अब मैं आपको बताती हूँ क्यों क्वेश्चन आपका डगमगाया हुआ है।
बताइए
क्योंकि
ना।
सास बनकर मैं कभी रोई नहीं थी, रुलाती जरूर थी, ये अलग बात है।
अच्छा, ये
बट
जो
ये भी सच है, अब मेरा जवाब तो सुन
हाँ,
लीजिए,
सुनाइए।
ये भी सच है कि आई बिकॉज ऑफ दैट क्राइंग ऑन स्क्रीन लाफ्ड माई वे टू द बैंक एज द हाईएस्ट पेड फीमेल एक्टर एवर। आई एम वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दैट।
I accept that part. You laughed your
और
way to the bank.
जहाँ तक शासन की बात है,
सुशासन, मैंने कहा शासन।
शासन की बात है, आई थिंक दैट वन नीड्स टू recognize. Seema said something very, very wonderful today. That I'm as good as a man is. You see, it's very difficult.
You are assuming that man is better than a woman.
Will you allow me to speak? It is very difficult to find women who are very blunt about their success. I see nowadays people try to gently put in words which might not be very patriarchally offensive. I'm proud to be a housewife, but people say that for it to be more acceptable, we can use the term homemaker. I'm proud to say that I'm part of administration. You need not soft pedal it. It is about being in political office. I'm sure you would not soft pedal it if there was a man seated here today. And I'm equally sure that men would not be getting advice on administration on a platform like this, like one of the anchors tried to give me today. And I think those are the subtle changes that are taking place. So there is a huge difference between the journey which began, let's say, with Ritu Kumar to where now Anvita is or Usha is, because we are extremely blunt about what we speak. Seema spoke about hand-to-hand combat se zyada close quarter pe battle. Honestly, ask any woman. She's doing close quarter battles every day. The difficulty is that you're not battling enemies. अपनों से लड़ना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, पराए तो फिर भी पराए। तो सास से लेकर सुशासन तक, जिसे मैं शासन कहती हूँ, मुझे लगता है ये रास्ते इख्तियार तब किए जाते हैं जब इस बात का कहीं ना कहीं कॉन्फिडेंस हो कि आप चुनौती चाहे कोई भी मेरे सामने उपलब्ध करा दीजिए, सफलता की मंजिल तक तो हम पहुँच ही जाएंगे।
बहुत बड़ी बात कह दी आपने आज। आई मस्ट एडमायर यू फॉर एडमिटिंग आजकल आप क्लोज बैटल अपनों से कर रही हैं। किससे कर रही हैं?
ये पॉलिटिकल मंच नहीं है।
नहीं, आपने कहा
और मैंने ये साफ कहा, आपने अपने किसको डिजाइन किया है प्रभु जी?
नहीं, आपने कहा हम तो आज भी क्लोज बैटल कर रहे हैं। क्लोज बैटल
औरतें क्लोज बैटल अपनों से जब मैं कहती हूँ तो मान लीजिए उषा की कहानी आज आपने कही, अपने माता पिता से झगड़ा करके अपनी किस्मत अपने हाथों पे लेकर अपनी जिंदगी अपने दम पर जीना आसान नहीं है। तो when we are trying to ridicule, when I say that women are fighting certain battles at close quarters, it is to define stories like Usha's. It is far easier to do it in a family where almost every member is educated. And I'm talking as a woman today, I'm not talking as a minister, though you would like a political metaphor for it. But if this is a stage to celebrate female achievers, I celebrate every woman who's fighting that battle but not getting an award for it. So I think today amongst us, those women who are fighting these battles, yet keeping their families together, keeping their dreams alive, are genuinely big heroes. Because Margaret Thatcher had said, any woman who understands the challenges of running a home is very close to understanding the challenges of running either a business or, for that matter, administration. And I think that is, if it resonates with Thatcher all the way up to India, that says that there are certain battles you face or you fight only because of your gender.
Good. Let me come back to the ministry, because there are a lot of achievers here. There's a problem in India that Indian brands are not becoming international. Like all the Indian women mostly prefer foreign brands. You have got Ritu Kumar. And I'm asking this question because
she's the industry leader and she says,
no,
I don't
I'm
think
talking about what can you do as a minister, because you are in such an important ministry and you're doing a lot of things there. What do you think Indian women can do to make our Indian brand famous, that every foreign...
You know, the dichotomy is today on this platform you celebrate women. But it's ironical that when you see a female leader, you always ask her what women can do. As a man, do you ever ask another man what you can do for men or what men can do? So let me just talk about textiles as a sector. If I talk about it as an economic sector, then 70 to 75% of people employed in the sector are women. And if I talk about what Ritu Kumar had said on this stage, is that as a market, the handcrafted legacy of India is something which actually cannot be measured in terms of how rich its value will be pegged at an international arena. So we are quite blessed that we have a textile legacy, a craft legacy in this country, which many of us enjoy. You ask any lady who is a part of the textile sector, or a man for that matter, they will tell you that when it comes to the sector, when it comes to clothing, let's say in France today, there will be a color forecast for the year 2017-18, but no one would dare forecast a color for this country because we enjoy our colors on our own, our legacies on our own. We enjoy the weaves, we enjoy the weft, and we enjoy the choices that we individually make. So from a sector perspective, what can I do? Well, there is much that we have done. If you want this to be a conversation on textile, we have from ensuring that the dhaga that a weaver gets, till now the supply of yarn is something that was only retained to certain offices. Nobody in this day and age of technology actually could empower the weaver to know कि आपकी yarn की supply जो सरकार subsidize कर रही है, आप तक कैसे पहुँचेगी. So, सोमवार को मैं e-धागा launch करने वाली हूँ, which puts the entire yarn supply for all weavers online through an app in 3 languages and another 3 languages to be added in another 2-3 weeks. Secondly, Laila ji would know this, a lot of challenges that weavers face is that they cannot afford new looms. And for the first time, we started a program under which 90% of the cost of the loom will now be borne by the government of India. So there are many interventions that we are making because textile is ranging from a handcrafted cloth all the way to synthetics, which from a garmenting perspective has a huge market domestically and internationally. Just a week and a half ago, we announced a new package for made-ups, which is basically home textile, which depends a lot on Indian fabric, giving a lot of thrust to Indian fabric and actually putting up a target of around 900 million square meters of cloth to be procured from Indian fabric makers. So given the vibrancy of the sector, I not only have challenges, but I also have opportunities to set a lot of historical wrongs right.
You've gone into the macro picture. I was talking about why can't Indian fashion designers or other people create an international brand?
I think one needs to understand that every designer has to create a brand for themselves. For instance, Ritu Kumar today is a brand unto herself because of her legacy, because of her understanding of the craft. Sunil is sitting here. He has started a whole new era of how to bring fashion designers together and pitch the capacity or the potency of the Indian fashion industry. Laila Tayyab ji is seated here today talking about Indian craft. Now to say that all of them should be under one umbrella and just become one entity is doing great injustice to their different strengths and their talents. So I'm of the opinion that if you leverage their journey internationally or nationally for that matter, in fact we as a government don't have to, they've done so beautifully well for themselves. I think today if you're looking at from an international point of view, if there is a conversation, let's say in UNESCO, which I was party to, they speak about Ritu Kumar. And what bigger celebration it is of Indian fashion or design that they individually know which designer to celebrate internationally.
I think again, let me pass on the question because what I was trying to say, why can't Ritu Kumar be known as Versace is known or Louis Vuitton is known? Why not?
But why would you want her to be a poor copy of somebody else?
I want to be proud of Indian brand.
I think that is where the problem lies. Why would you want her to be a copy of someone else?
Not copy of individual personality of herself.
No.
Why there is a brand name Tata which is known all over the world?
No,
Why there is a TVS known all over the world? So these are the things I am talking about. You are talking about, you are doing is a very good thing which you are doing. I'm just saying, why not Ritu Kumar should come at any airport, any fashion, you go to Milan or anybody else?
But she is.
No,
So I don't think you understand the business strength that Ritu Kumar brings. Though sorry, it's becoming less of a Devi and more about Devi Ritu Kumar. But
I want, I want international Devis.
no, I think that the problem is that we are so hell-bent on wanting an international recognition for ourselves. Vandana Luthra, Preeta Reddy, I mean, for me and for people overseas, you are stars. So why would you need somebody to come and certify to you, ji, ye aapki Indian Versace hai?
Why should I say Versace? I say it's
So-
Indian. Make in India, made in India, by India.
Yes, and but
Bharti
she's already,
and Aarti- Bharti
but
and
she's
Aarti
already
ne,
doing
Bharti
it.
Purush ne
I
Bharat
think
mein
that
bulaya
is
hai.
what the problem is, Prabhuji. Men barely understand the intricacies of the business.
अब मेरे को पता लगा
That's why
मैं
75% of
मैं
our
आज
business
मान
is all
गया
women.
कि फिल्म की बहू सास के साथ नहीं लड़ सकता कोई भी
You see, another, and I'm publicly saying this today.
बहू रानी
No, no,
इनको
listen,
बोलकर
I'm publicly saying this today. Every time Prabhu Chawla loses out an argument, he goes and hangs on to the good old Saas Bahu cliched Tana, which is sincerely becoming very boring.
Yes, I accept it. I accept it because you don't want to make any Ritu Kumar international figure. That I accept it.
But she already is.
Then let us go back to something
I
else.
think you do her a great disservice by sitting here on a national forum and saying that she begs for recognition internationally when she's celebrated so much.
Government of India
I mean,
and
I
and
think the
Smriti Irani
irony is not lost on people that you give her a Devi Samman and then say, oh, poor little Ritu Kumar. Please,
No,
seriously.
we recognized her, and I thought that Ritu Kumar and anybody else sitting in all the 10 Devis deserve much more than what they are getting in India. They should be recognized abroad as
I
well.
think that, Prabhuji,
when
I
Prime
don't
Minister
know,
Modi goes abroad, they should be our ambassador to international people.
I
they
think
should
that,
be represented.
Prabhuji, one thing that you do not...
Here is the Sadarni created a Odia channel. What has she has done? She has a great thing she has done.
No, but I think that the problem here is, Prabhuji, you're trying to hand them over something thinking that they are bichari some things and poor things here, needing some additional recognition, which they are not wanting. I think you need to read their faces.
No, anyway, they are not bichari, but you are making them bichari again
No,
and
I'm
again
not.
by asking them bichari. Anyway, let us get back to politics now, if you want.
Yes, get back to something you know. Yes.
I'm
Tell
saying
me.
you were HRD minister. You
Yes.
shook the entire world, and now you are into new different. What is the difference between two stages you are doing? There were also some kind of intellectual activity you are doing. People question your intellectual thing by raising all sorts, and you prove them wrong. What is the difference between the two ministries you feel? What kind of different
Well,
challenges
thank you
find?
for this certification that I did prove somebody wrong. I'm extremely grateful for that. I think that I never started wanting to prove anything to anybody. I was just there to do my job, which I did. And when you make the job about proving something about yourself, you do a great disservice to the responsibility that has been given to you. As a woman, let me just talk about my experience. I had an academician, a pretty celebrated one, who once told my assistant, you know, she needs to lean on me for advice even more. And I looked at the gentleman and I said, no, thank you. Because there was a presumption that possibly the gentleman would know more about academia because he's possibly preordained or blessed with more brain cells than I do. I remember walking into an IIT council meeting and it was full with men. And I said, why does this council not have a single woman representing, you know, the feminine power behind technology? They said, aap hai na, wo kafi hai. I said, I'm here by the virtue of my office. But what about other women? They said, no, we don't have many women in technology and science who can actually be a part of the IIT council. I said, you have Tessie Thomas. They said, oh, we never thought of her. I said, then why don't we induct her into the council? And I did. The first two women ever in the history of this country to be a part of the IIT council, which takes administrative decisions on behalf of academia across all IITs, now has 2 women. Out of 11 NIT heads, I had 6 women. Before I came in, they said, no, we don't find many. So I think it's about, and I remember, I think for me as a woman, what broke my heart was when I called up Tessie Thomas. And I said, madam, would you please do us the honor of accepting this position? And that woman, who is such a big achiever, said, oh, you thought of me. She had tears in her eyes. And I said, why not? You've done our country so proud. So I think there are many success stories. Sometimes they get a position of so-called respect from an industry perspective or from an administrative perspective. But what is heartening is like what Usha said today, there are a lot of people who are talking about opportunities for women, respect for women. You might not agree with their points of view, but they have every right to speak. And I think that gives me a lot of hope for the future.
So the question that
So how have I done better here or
not
there?
better. You will do best, I think.
I will do my best,
So
yes.
No, you can do better, but you have to be best. That's
Yes,
what
sir,
I expected.
I will, sir.
And the question textile, what is the difference, what kind of challenges you are facing here now? You said you brought women there because when I say,
I'm facing
why,
no
when I
challenge.
say why women are not there, you pounce upon me and say, why you are taking bichari. So you brought women because they were not given their due.
Come
You
back
did a
to
good job.
politics, you will be more
So
focused.
I'm coming back to
Yes.
politics because you were shifted from there, HRD ministry. You were doing a good job, and you were perhaps the first women HRD minister.
I'm the first female HRD minister,
Yeah,
cabinet
first,
rank,
yeah.
and first ever
Yeah,
female
and the youngest
textile
ever.
minister.
And
yes.
I've
The
completed
youngest
that.
ever to go to Rajya Sabha, yes.
Yes, not youngest ever. There was another.
Female, yes.
Janti Natarajan was the first.
No, sir.
She was 31 when she was made the Rajya Sabha member.
Rajya Sabha, no, sir.
Yeah, so you were 31. So on that,
Sir,
I
Rajya
think
Sabha, you
we
go
can-
after 35.
35? 35?
30, yeah.
30. She was 31. That's why I used the word 31.
In
So
my age, I was.
She was the youngest anyway.
Acha, okay.
No, we can correct if I'm
I
wrong.
didn't know you were counting ages of women, but then what the heck?
No, you counted. You said I'm the youngest. I
But I was counting my age. I didn't know you knew the ages of other women. Yes.
You are like my daughter-in-law age anyway. So
I don't want to be your daughter-in-law. I don't understand. No, I'm happy being the daughter-in-law of the people that I'm daughter-in-law of.
You are of that age, so I will treat you like that only. So coming back to that, but yet you are the only first and the last perhaps now. I don't know what happens in the future. You are doing a good job. Why women, whether it is your party or Congress party, they are not trusted with important posts?
Sir, textiles is an economic portfolio.
Economic portfolio. So it's
And the commerce minister is also a woman.
she is the MOS. She has not been made cabinet minister.
But that is the rank that
No,
she's
no,
at.
No,
So
I'm coming to why not a finance minister of the country? Why not the home minister of the
Ah,
country?
so now you're grinding your own personal battles and
No, I'm
asking
not
for the
saying.
finance minister.
No, I'm home minister. I've used the word.
I think that you missed the era of
The
Jayavanti
personal
Ben
battle,
Mehta also.
You have also fought personal battle with the same person.
I think
know
you're
it.
missing out. I think you're missing out on Jayavanti Ben Mehta's tenure also
which
in
one?
energy.
What?
I think you're missing out on all that. I think you
what?
missed out on Sushma
I'm talking about-
Swaraj.
I'm-
I think
I'm
you're
talking about
missing
home
out
and
on.
finance.
I think you're missing out on Sushma
No,
Swaraj.
I'm asking finance ministry.
Are you saying that external
Defense.
affairs is not very
Defense.
important?
No, it is.
So
Their
basically,
external affairs has been earlier also women.
so basically, you'd
Earlier
like the
also
prime
women.
minister to first call you and then assign
No,
portfolios.
no. Now you are dividing the question. I am saying, are they not capable to run the home ministry?
That's what I'm saying.
Finance
So
ministry, defense ministry.
Are you saying external affairs ministry is not a good enough portfolio
They're good
for
at-
us? It's
one-
not good.
Out of
Being a speaker is not
out
good.
Of 31 cabinet minister or 29 cabinet minister, you have got one woman running external affairs ministry.
Yes, I'm also
Other
a
than
cabinet minister.
you are in important ministry, HRD, you are equally important or less important. I don't know. It depends. Let the people judge whether that textile was is more important than HRD. I'm not.
Economic, this will not
You
be
first
important,
answer
of
the
course.
question. Why
I'm
can't-
answering the question.
No, in 70 years,
You're
why not
tithering.
a single woman by Congress party or your party you have thought of becoming the defense minister? I will not talk about the finance minister because you have a problem.
I don't have a problem, you do.
No, I don't. I have to take the.
I have no problems with
But
the
you don't want
finance
a woman
minister.
you don't aspire to be finance
Like I
minister.
said, don't shove. आप अपने तीर मेरे कंधे से मत चलाइए.
आप finance minister नहीं बनना
Ask
चाहते.
something which is productive for women, not productive for Prabhu Chavla. Yes.
आप finance minister नहीं बनना चाहती.
मैं तो टेक्सटाइल के कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर नहीं बनना चाहती थी.
अच्छा, फिर
मैं तो साधारण कार्यकर्ता थी, अपना काम करने गई थी वापस.
तो आपको जबरदस्ती तो नहीं बनाया जाता ना.
नहीं, लेकिन जब आपको इतनी बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी जाती है,
अच्छा.
you don't turn your back on it.
तो
You
आप
say
कर
that
रही-
you're privileged to get an opportunity to serve your country.
एक बात बताइए, आप इलेक्शन पे आते हैं, आप अमेठी में इलेक्शन दोबारा लड़ने जाएंगी?
मुझे क्या पता, मेरी पार्टी डिसाइड करेगी ना.
आपकी आज भी मैंने देखा यूथ को कन्वेंशन की वहाँ फोटो आपकी लगी हुई थी पीछे. कलराज मिश्रा जी भाषण कर रहे थे पीछे.
तो मेरी फोटो से आपको परेशानी है?
नहीं, इसका लगता है कि अमेठी में लगी हुई थी ना, बाकी जगह नहीं लगी थी.
हाँ, लेकिन मेरी तो जहाँ लगनी चाहिए वहाँ लगती है फोटो.
हाँ, तो इसका
दिक्कत
अमेठी-
आपको क्यों हो रही
नहीं,
है?
मेरे
फोटो
को
मेरी है.
दिक्कत नहीं है. अब आपको मेरे हर सवाल से दिक्कत हो रही है तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ.
Yes. Where do you want this conversation to head?
Wherever you take it.
So I think Anvita is telling me a very, very productive thing, which is to end it now. Yeah, yeah. She
Is
wants
what?
you to be rid
Give
of your
them-
misery.
give them-
So
give-
let's,
give them
ladies, a big hand to Prabhu Chawla.
So she
Every
doesn't
man seated here today is thinking about how he gets ragged by his wife or the ladies in his life. And we gave you a live demonstration in terms of Prabhu Chawla. A big hand for him.
Thank you very much. I've been grilling her for the last how many years now?
I don't know, so I lost count.
This is the 10th time or 11th time she has come, and she always wins the battle against me. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
obliged.
for coming.
Thank you, Smriti ji. It's always a pleasure listening to you. Mr. Chawla, may I please request you to present the memento to the minister? I hope so. And meanwhile, may I also request Managing Editor, the New Indian Express Group, Shampadhar Kamath, to please come on stage to give the vote of thanks.